Well, Antonio Pena, the founder of AAA, was the person I told you about that was talking to me in the parking lot. He made me. He discovered me and he gave me my name. Um, it was weird because uh, I'll try to make this one as short as possible because it's complicated. I explained where my first dressing rooms were in Canada, with Bruiser Brody, Ric Flair, Abdullah the Butcher, Stan Hansen, Rick Martel, Dino Bravo, the Road Warriors. And the Samoans. That was a house show dressing room, and that's who taught me. So when I got to Mexico, I was like really disciplined, and there's a lot of ethics here, And a lot of Mexican guys had been to Japan, and at that time, Japan was like very disciplined. So they taught the younger generation in the dressing room. When AAA started, all these new young talents that were just so rebellious, that didn't have that discipline, and there were no role models. So it was really Wild West. So the culture kind of got lost in transition there for a minute. So when I started to see that it was very difficult for me to adapt.
Did anyone ever seek out, per se, that knowledge that you had, working alongside Ric Flair, Abby, Brody, all those guys? Did any of the younger guys that you ended up working out with in AAA kind of maybe seek out that advice from you because they were connected so well?
No, because their ego was yes, a few. Pentagon, for sure. Pentagon, 100%. Mecha Wolf always listens to my advice. Ricky Banderas, Macias, Mil Muertes, we exchange this kind of knowledge. So there's a connection there. But the culture wouldn't be absorbed. They weren't going to understand what I was saying. It wasn't a language thing. It was a culture thing. But when I do seminars here, I don't, like this morning I did a seminar. I don't go in the ring. I don't do anything in the ring. It's all spoken word, a lot about psychology, a lot about answering their questions. So I explain the importance, why horror and horror movies work. Friday the 13th doesn't scare you. You want to see the fucking villain. You want to see how's he going to kill the next victim, and you fucking love it. But Jaws, you don't even see the shark until 3/4 of the way through the movie. You see the dock getting pushed back. You see the darkness, the water. You see the girl go under. You know that motherfucker is in there. You know he's in there. You fucking just know it. That could happen to you. That's why that works as fear. So when I give seminars, I use all these things and I explain that. That's exactly how I explain it, because that's Abdullah the Butcher. You know he's got a fucking fork. Don't lock up with him. Don't drop kick him and fall down. You know he's got a fucking fork, and that's Jaws. So I try to explain that stuff. So I love it. I really do.
All right. What is your current role for AAA now?
I've been out of AAA since December, and AAA doesn't exist anymore. They've been bought by the WWE. There is no more AAA. Yeah.
That was going to be my next question. Talk about WWE buying AAA. When did you first hear about it, and how do you think it's gone so far?
I heard the next day on the news. I think, like no one will even tell me. And being that I've been in this thing for 44 years, and I speak both languages, and I know the Mexican culture a lot better than most, they didn't even invite me to the project. And that's the politicking again, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how the vibe it was in the beginning. But how do I think it's going? I watched, what was that, Worlds Collide? Is that what they called the show? And El Hijo del Vikingo did a dive, some kind of fucking thing. And he did this dive that was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He stands up and he bows to the public. It's like, you got to remember the American psychology of violence is somebody's going to get into a fight and try to win. It's not Cirque du Soleil. there's nothing wrong with it, but you're not trying to win the match. You got to remember it's professional wrestling. So if the Mexican wrestlers don't understand, pin the fucking guy. 1-2 kick out. I don't, because the Americans are going to start to laugh at it. The biggest stars out of this whole thing are going to be Mr. Iguana and Niño Hamburguesa. They're gonna fucking dominate because the people know that they know their role is comedy. And it's understood. The other fucking guys, the Superman, when you see 6 or 7 Canadian destroyers in a row, would you do that in a bar fight? Would you do that against 10 Hell's Angels? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. So I'm that's, maybe I'm a little bit older. Who knows? Maybe I smoke too much weed. Or maybe I smoke too little.
TitleMatchNetwork.com